Hi everybody, how are you? My name is Shelley. I am from Airdrie, Alberta, Canada, and I'm here to talk more about my quilting and knitting and sewing and crocheting adventures. I am on Instagram as Polka Dot Creek and also on Facebook as Polka Dot Creek, and I have another new Facebook page called Polka Dot Creek Quilting that kind of just shows the long arming that I do and the patterns that I use to do my long arming in case you're interested in that. So today is April 3rd. It's a little bit overcast today. I think it's going to turn out to be nice. We had a really nice weekend. I got to use a brand new color in my crochet temperature Afghan, so I'll have to show you that. On the weekend, we were in Red Deer, Alberta for the quilt show. We met my aunt and saw some friends there, and it was so nice. We had a picnic outside, so it was a good day. I bought lots of goodies and I have them all here to show you. So, I think I'll start with some of the things that I was talking about in my other podcast that I keep saying I'll show you my knitted hats or toques or whatever, and then I keep forgetting to bring them. So, I guess we'll start with some finished objects today, knitting related. So, I talked about the Bobble Hat before. This is the sheepy hat. I've made two different ones now. The blue one was the original version. I did exact what they called for in the pattern, how long to make the brim, and it's long, all that 2x2 ribbing. So you can fold it up and wear it like that. But some people don't always like that, I find, and that's a lot, it takes a lot to do all that ribbing. So I decided to try another one that I've seen other people have been doing. It's just a beanie style, about half as many. I think I did 12 or 13 rows of ribbing versus the blue one has, I think, 25 or so in the end when it calls for how many inches to do the ribbing. So those are my little sheeps. I'm still going to make pom-poms for them. I think variegated with these colors, pom-poms, so that'll be fun. So these haven't been blocked or anything yet. I just finished them. So they are called the Bobble Hat. You can find them. It's a free pattern download on Ravelry. So, and I guess now I've heard that they have different size patterns now for kids. And I've even seen people take these sheep and incorporate them into mittens. So that would be cool. I haven't made mittens yet, or fingerless gloves or whatever. Here's another one I made. I think it's called From Norway with Love. All of these hats that I have right here to show you, I used on Cascade 220 Superwash. I think it's kind of in between a DK weight and a worsted weight. I think it's considered worsted, but it's not a real thick, chunky worsted. So I use these colors. That's fun too. And it's a beanie style. It's just a little bit longer. Maybe a bit of a slouch because it's just a bit longer in the head part. So those are nice colors too. I love those colors. They're fun. And then this is the one I made for my husband for Valentine's Day. It's called the Force Awakens hat because he is a huge Star Wars fan. And that's what the pattern's called too, the Force Awakens. It is also a free pattern download on Ravelry, so, and this is also out of Cascade 220, so superwash, so it's easy to take care of and keep clean and rewear over and over again. So that's pretty fun. Love that one. So those are the hats that I finished. I'm still working on that sock from last week. There hasn't been a whole lot of progress, so I'm not going to show you it again because I have been working on something amazing. I made myself a knitty bag, carry my projects in, and I took it with me and knitted in the truck on the way to Red Deer. My dad was driving because he took us. He was nice and took us all around. This is called the Hitchhiker Scarf. It is a pattern on Ravelry. I found this yarn. Mom and I had a little road trip last week when the kids were out of school. We had a shopping day, and I visited the Loop in Kensington in Calgary. It's really, really nice store. All sorts of yarn goodness. It's all different brands, all different weights. Sock yarn and Madeline Tosh and Malabrigo, and oh, it was so awesome. So I found this Malabrigo yarn. I bought 2 skeins of it, and I also got myself one of these. So I bought 2 skeins because it's not enough. The pattern calls for 575 yards, and these skeins were 350. So I purchased 2 because I love it so much, those colors. They're a little bit more muted. They're showing up a little brighter, I think, on screen. So I purchased 2 skeins to make sure I had enough. So I'm alternating every couple of rows the skein so you don't have issues with color being different. And I'm halfway now, just over halfway. So these little points are all called teeth. So there's 41 teeth. I think I'm on 22 or 23. So when you wear it, it's going to wrap around and come back around. But don't you just love the colors? You could wear this with any color. There's grays and blues and kind of lavenders and purples of all different shades. So you could wear it with blues or grays or purple or white or jeans or anything. So I'm pretty proud. This is my first shawl I've knitted. I'm using my Knit Picks. I just got some new Knit Picks needles. These are 3.5 size needles. I had a little retail therapy last week as well, and I bought myself a kit of needles from Knit Picks. They're the Options Interchangeable Nickel-Plated needle set. Sorry about the glare there. So it has all sorts of sizes and cords for them. And I even got a few more cords just in case, because you always seem to need something. And they're just always good to have. So that was fun. I got that. This yarn. Started this. I still love it so much. So I've been monogamously knitting on this. So my socks haven't seen much action, but I just love this so much. It's going to be so cool. If you check the hashtag Hitchhiker shawl on Instagram, you'll see all sorts of beautiful ones. And it really is an easy pattern. It's all garter stitch, which is knit back and forth. There's a purl at the beginning of one purl of every other row, I think. And yeah, it's just knit, knit, knit. Just keep track of your stitches and what you're on, what tooth you're on. So that's fun. I love that a lot. And I love this bag. I made some bags up for my shop update, and I'll show you those later, but this one had to stay with me. This is some scrap fabric that my mom had from when she was making aprons last year, and I kept it for myself. So don't worry, I made her a whole bunch too. She's got quite a collection started, so let me just put that away there. I also got a few other things in my Knit Picks order when I ordered my needles. I got myself 3 sock yarns. This one is called the Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. Oh, that's hard. I'm sorry. We'll just show this. In the Hollywood colorway. Nice and bright. Fun. That'll be fun socks, for sure socks. This one is called Chelsea Hand Painted Stroll Fingering. Again, bright and fun for summer. I thought that'd be really fun. And I'd like to get some of this bright pink color maybe. Just kind of a solid or semi-solid to do. I want to start trying the alternate color of toes and heels on my socks. So that would be fun, I think. Really fun. And then this is the last one I got. This one is called Woodland Hand Painted. All the greens and blues and aquas in there. Stroll Fingering again. So those 3 I got. I was lucky last week. And then I'm also going to knit the Bradway shawl, and you can look that up on Ravelry. It's a paid pattern, and Instagram. There are so many beautiful ones and different color combinations. So I ordered myself some Knit Picks yarn, Wool of the Andes. So I got fun kind of a denim-y blue, light gray, I think it's silver, dark gray, and charcoal. I don't think I'm going to use the black, but I think it's going to be these 3 colors. So yes, this is, they are Wool of the Andes Superwash, Delt Heather, worsted. So these are 110 yards, 50 grams. So I had to get a couple of each color, but I love these colors. And I think they would look really good wearing with jeans and a white shirt or a gray shirt or whatever, any time of the year. It's fairly big, so I thought I would start with my Hitchhiker because it's a little bit easier pattern. The Broadway shawl calls for a few different stitches that I haven't tried yet, new to me ones, so I think I'll do that, get good, and then I'll try the Broadway and see how that goes for me. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's all the knitted stuff. Oh, I'll show you my temperature Afghan though. I gotta move these. I'll show you those later too. My temperature Afghan is coming right along still. I've still kept up, but look, a new color. This color is kind of a grass green. I guess it's good for summer, right? On Saturday, we got up to 21 degrees Celsius, and that is really unheard of for March. April, maybe, yeah. It's never that nice here. So this is the last week or so. Lots of aqua. This is teal. It's hard to see, it's kind of bluey, but it's more teal in real life. And then the lime green, and then, yeah, this green. So that's fun. It's getting really big. It's covering my legs, getting cozy. It might be a little hot to be crocheting on in the summer, but this is my temperature Afghan update. So it's coming really good. So yeah, I don't know, 365 rows. It's going to be big. It's going to be perfect for my bed to snuggle in when it's extra cold someday next year. Okay, so the quilt show was so fun. The weather was so nice. My mom was very helpful, and the kids were very well behaved because my husband was out of town. So they helped me carry all my goodies around and were very patient with me, so that's good. We met my aunt there. Saw my aunt's friend, Corrine, who owns Quilt Shop in Hannah. She had her own booth set up, so we always go visit her and see what's happening, but they had a lot of good stuff. Maybe not quite as big as last year. I think I remember more long arm booths last year, but it was still good. I got to meet Brady from Sparrow Studios in Edmonton, so that was fun because I follow her and her husband in their store on Instagram, Sparrow Studios, so it's always fun to see someone in real life, and she was very nice and answered some of my questions, so that good. Even though I have a different long arm than what they have, but the theories behind most of it are the same. But yeah, so I really went for new long arm thread colors for my stash, and I got exactly the colors that I was wanting. So I needed some more grays and greens. So this is a variegated, really light gray. It's King Tut Superior Threads. It works really well on my long arm top thread and bobbin thread. It likes it, so I'm sticking with it. And I like the look of it and how it works. So this is called King Tut 2000 yards. It's a 3-ply. Canaan color. Canaan? I don't know how to say that. This one's a little bit lighter than that. Desert Wind. Oh, it's so hard to tell. I'm sorry, the glare that you're getting. A little bit darker gray variegated. Pumice. And then this one my mom picked out because these are her favorite colors. Is beiges and blues. And a little bit of grays, browns. And this one is Riverbank. And I'm making her a quilt, I think, similar to these colors, so that might work out really good for her to have anyway. And then I needed a green for some Christmas quilts that I'm making. But I know the backing is this really close to this color. So this color is called Avocado. So these are all King Tut threads from Superior Threads. 2000 yards. It's cotton. It's not polyester. My long arm does not enjoy polyester in the bobbin at all. It doesn't even, my bobbin winder doesn't even wind the polyester. It's got too much stretch and it just goes wild and crazy. That was one of the questions I asked Brady about, and she says to actually buy the pre-wound bobbins already done for you, and there's actually a little bit more thread on them, so I might try that out and see how it works. If it's already pre-wound and rightly wound in there, then maybe it'll be better for quilting to get it right the first place. So I might have to try that out. Thank you for the tip. because the polyester is really nice thread, and it's got a bit of a sheen and sparkle to it, so it looks really pretty when it's quilted in your pattern and stuff. Which brings me to the quilt that I've been showing the last couple of podcasts. I got it done and binded. Binded. I always machine bind my quilts. So when I do that, I sew the binding to the back of the quilt and then flip it to the front to sew it down on the front. Now you have a stitched finished edge on the front, which looks really nice and neat. And on the back, if you don't hit this, you'll just have a thin line. It's hard to see, I'm sorry. You won't probably be able to see it because it's white thread and white fabric, but anyways, I used a white polka dot, red and white fabric. My favorite fabrics, of course, polka dots, because it goes nicely with the top colors and the backing. Like I said, I like to have things kind of coordinate a little bit. It doesn't have to be totally matchy-matchy, because it's not. This fabric is from a totally different line than the front, and the backing is from a totally different line than the front, but it all coordinates pretty. So this is done. First Christmas quilt of the year, ready for somebody's home, maybe mine, because I love it. So I'll give you a little bit bigger shot here. Yay, love it so much. And it's just a throw size. And again, the pattern is called Shortcake by Cluck Cluck Sew that you can find online. And it's a paid pattern, but it has different sizes. It's a jelly roll quilt, but different sizes for what size you want the quilt to be. So this is a throw size, and I just used one jelly roll. I know it can get up to, I think, a queen size, and you need two jelly rolls and stuff, but it's really, it's a simple design. It's not super fast, but it's just so fun to do because you get to see all the little squares come out and make the patterns, every one a little bit different. So that is done. Yay, another finished object. Okay, so, and I had some time with my quilty friends the last little while, and we were making design boards. Lori from Be In My Bonnet makes these design boards, and it holds your pieces that you're piecing to quilt together for your block. And I think I've showed some before because they were on, my blocks from that quilt were on them before. But my friend and I, Shauna, got together and made a whole bunch more. So what they are is poster board, and you can cut them into whatever sizes you think you use the most. See, these are well loved, so they've got threads on them. So it's a poster board that you can buy at Walmart or Michael's, and then you cover the one side in batting. You always have batting scraps left over from quilts, so that works really well. And then I always have a jar of binding scraps because I never want to run out when you're binding a quilt. So this was jam-packed and overflowing, so I got to use quite a bit out of here to do these, so that's good. And they're all 2.5-inch strips, or 2 1/4. I find that when I bind with my Juki, because of the foot size, I need to do 2 2/4 strips. That works best. So that's what these are. So then you do your binding strips all around the outside, and it frames it so pretty and they look so nice. So I have some sizes that are 10 by 10 inches. Good for little blocks, little pieces, or holding all your cut pieces in rows. Shauna and I made a couple different sizes. These are, see, and some of them are scrappy binding too. I just sewed them all together and see what happened. These ones are 15 by 15 because I have a lot of quilts now that I'm getting into that are 12 by 12 size blocks or 13 size blocks. So these are helpful for that. And then the poster boards come, well, the size I buy come this big. So I just cut a few of them just in half and have sort of some rectangular ones. And these are also good for holding all your pieces when you're organized and have cut out your whole quilt. You can number them or label them what size they are. Some of the quilts come with numbers and labels. I have these alphabetties from Fat Quarter Shop you can find online, and they're just little pieces that have numbers and letters. So it's perfect when you cut out your whole quilt. All the different sizes. Some of them are pretty similar in size and you could mess them up. So you can label them all, put this beside it, reuse them because they're just little plastic, and lay them all out on your quilt. board. So that's something I finished too. And they're just hot glued on. The batting's hot glued just around the edges, and so is the binding. Just open it up and hot glue it down one side, do your corners, get the whole side done, and then flip it over and do the other side. So you can find step-by-step instructions and everything on Lori Holt's blog, Be In My Bonnet. And she's also on Instagram and has the most amazing account. So if you're not following her, you have to check her. I think on Instagram she's BeLori1, B-E-E, Lori, L-O-R-I 1. So that's something fun that we've been doing. So now let's look at the quilt show goodies. I don't know where to start. Oh, yeah, so I got those threads. That was the one thing I knew I had to get. And there's booths set up all around that have little treasures. Quilt fabric bundles that maybe you can't get anymore online or you haven't seen anymore. And then you find them. But the first one we went to, we found 1 meter cuts of cool fabrics. So we just grabbed a few. Maybe to make some more knitting project bags. But look at my little pony. Isn't she cute? Pretty colors. So I had to get that one. I don't know. It was in the 70% off bin or something. So, or 50%. I had to get it. Purple Cats, I think was the shop name. Purple Cats. And then I got some owls. Some bigger owls. Because I love them and they're so cute. And I love the polka dotted bellies and all that. And then I got this color for the bottoms maybe to coordinate for the bags. So, all 1 meter cuts at a good price, so that was fun. Started off right away, first booth, bought those. I also found a booth. I think I was there last year and they had the most adorable booth. If it's the same people that were in the same spot, and very nice ladies, loved them so much. I got a couple of quilt kits. So their name, they're from Lethbridge, called Village Quilts, and they made up all these quilt kits and all these cute containers. The strawberry quilt that I want to make, that it's all strawberries and all different reds and some greens for the stems, they had in a big green plastic bin, almost like what you'd buy strawberries in the summer, like you used to, remember those green bins? And it all cut out for you, all the different colors and different reds and stuff, so you could just go ahead and make it. So this inside, I have some of these fabrics, but they're just so beautiful. They're my favorite Bonnie and Camille fabrics and stuff. And some extra cute, some of these Bonnie and Camille's are pretty old and you can't get them anywhere. So I had to, I just had to. So here's a kit, and it has the background and the binding and the bordering to make a quilt. It came with this book, so not only you got a quilt kit and all the fabric you need for the quilt top, you got this awesome book by Kim Brackett. Lots of good scrap busting in here. And there's so many. I'll show you a few really cute quilts. There's a cute one. And there's the back. So there's all sorts of good, because we all get scraps and you don't know what to do with them and they just sit in the corner, but you can't throw them away. They're still beautiful and they still can be used. So this is the quilt to make with it. Cross My Heart quilt. Isn't that pretty? I love those colors so much. Those are totally my colors. Totally me. I couldn't pass that up. So it has all the step-by-steps and the blocks assembly and everything like that. So it's going to be a finished quilt of 53 by 64. So that's a nice size. Now I have all the fabrics ready to go. I don't have to pull from my stash and feel guilty because I love them and I don't want to use them, but I do. You have to use them. That's why you bought them. But I just couldn't resist. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? Oh, love it. My favorite colors and everything. I also have been eyeing this up for a long time, the Frivolous Tunes. There's a new designer every month and a new pattern, quilt pattern every month. And I've seen them online everywhere and I've wanted to, but the shipping to get these tins to Canada was just astronomical. The kits themselves weren't a lot of money, and you get a super cute tin after, but the shipping to get this tin here was just too much. So I've always wanted the Bonnie and Camille one. I think it was number 1. It was the first one, and I thought for sure I'd never find one ever again, but I did. And that's what the quilt will look like. Love that. Kindred, it's called. So it has all the fabrics in there to do the quilt top too. And it's not a super huge quilt. You could add to it, I guess. It's 42 by 42 inches. So, and it's made with Hello Darling fabric, which is one of my favorites, and it's one of the newer ones. But it's fun to collect all these. So, and it has a cute ribbon inside, like, look at that. So fun. So that was fun find. Glad I found that. Found it from them too. I also got a bundle of solids. I don't have a lot of solids in my stash, but I have 2 quilts that I am eyeing up. One is called Postcards from Sweden. It's on Craftsy. You can find that pattern. It might be a free pattern, but they have kits on Craftsy too with this fabric to make it. And it's just so pretty and striking, especially in the solid colors. So I bought this for either that or this medallion quilt. I've always wanted to make this. I've seen this kit on Craftsy as well. It's a really big size, 80 by 80. It's pretty good. And I just never got around to ever ordering it. So I think it might be for that too. I don't know. It's pretty though. I like it a lot. And I've never done like a medallion quilt around and around with different borders. So I think that would be fun. And I think it's pretty striking. So I might save that for that. I'll just need some background fabric like the light gray that's shown in there. But it's a pretty fun rainbow quilt, hey? I like that a lot. Another pattern I picked up called Fancy Forest. I've always wanted to make the foxes. You can make any of these just as a quilt alone. And I've always loved the hedgehogs. Sorry for the glare. The hedgehogs and the foxes, and the owls are pretty cool too. But I know my friend Kim loves this one. And I couldn't resist because then you have the pattern requirements for all of the animals. So I think I might do this too. This one is also by the same person. These are both Elizabeth Hartman. She's got lots of cool ones. If you ever look her up online. Amazing. I don't know how she does it, but this might be fun. You could make the smaller version, say for a baby quilt. That would be fun for a little boy, especially that one. But it's nice and solids too. And I've seen it in print fabrics too, and it's really cool. So, yeah, I just had to. My mom talked me right into that one. And I knew Kim would love it so too, so maybe we'll make it together, Kim. Or a couple blocks or something, because it's fun. So, oh, and then, oh, from the other Village Quilts in Lethbridge with the cute heart kit and the Frivolous tin, I found this pattern. Sewing machines. And it's just a little mini you can hang on your wall. I guess you could make a big one if you wanted to, but it would go really nice on my wall up there. I've got a mini spools quilt with spools of thread, so I think that would look cute. So I had to buy that one too. Yes, and this one says it's 22 by 28, so it's not a very big quilt, but perfect size for hanging on the wall, decorating your room. That is really glary. I'm sorry. Mini stitch. Fig Tree & Co. So those were some of the fun finds. There was something that I saw last year that I wanted really bad, but I saw it near the end of our day, and I was out of money by the end of our day last year. And I sort of was this time too, but I got it anyway because I love it. And it's not my usual style. It's more primitive. I think that's what they call it, fabrics. This is called Two Step by Miss Rosie's Quilt Company. She's also on Instagram, Moda Rosie. And it's a Schnibbles pattern. So I've always wanted to make this one. But I really wanted to make it because of the quilt that I saw at the quilt show that was done already. And it's made in all these fabrics. It came as a quilt pattern. Like, look. Every color. Reproductions. So it comes with everything you need. Oh, I'll take that off. Quilter's Quarters, that's where it's from. It doesn't say where Quilter's Quarters are from. I'm not sure. In Alberta somewhere. That's a 780 area code number. But I saw this last year made, and it is beautiful. And I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I was very upset that I didn't get it. So I was happy that they had 2 left this year, so I took one right away. So, has lots of fun colors in it. Show you some of those. And my mom likes it too. And I've been promising her a quilt for her bed. Remember I pointed to one of those? Oh, that fabric right there. But I have enough of that fabric to make this pattern too. Maybe this one can still stay with me. And maybe I'll make that fabric for my mom out of this. What do you think, Mom? We'll see. It's a big queen size, so like that wouldn't get done anytime soon. Wait. But here's some more. I'm not sure what the fabric line is called. But there's all the... There's a salvage edge. Let's read what it says. Oh, maybe not. It might be just a whole bunch of different ones. It might not be exclusive to just one line, but I love it so much. Put another close-up. It's going to look really good. And I might have to practice the long arming actually freehanding some designs in there instead of following a pantograph, but there you go. Super cool. Love it. It was so fun. Just seeing quilt kits made up and all the fabrics around, it just kind of makes you feel like you want to quilt. I immediately wanted to go home and start quilting. And of course start a new quilt with the new stuff that I made. But I think I probably could. I finished quite a few things this last week, so I think I could start another one. But it was really nice to get some inspiration and get your sojo back, and yeah, so it was good. It was a nice day. So I have a few things that I've sewn up for my Etsy store, polkadotcreek.etsy.com. Since my mom kept stealing all the project bags that I was making, and then I needed a few. So there's a few more I got finished up. They're in my shop. This is one of those owls that I showed you that I picked up the fabric from the first booth, but in a different colorway from last year. We got from that same booth. And I don't think the fabric's available anymore because it was last year or the year before. But here's a different colorway version of... Oh, here. This one that I bought. See, this one's got more blues and reds and aquas and yellows. And this one's the pink and teals and reds. Both nice. So I had to pick this one up because I love this one so much. So there's one. So these are doubly interfaced. I have two different kinds of interfacing inside to help it stand up on its own, which it does, and keep its shape, but still soft enough that you could fold it away if you wanted to, or stick in a purse or whatever. So these are 11.5 by 11.5 square. I like to decorate the zippers with a little bit of this on each side. Zipper tabs, I think they're called. And the lining is the same. Because I think it just finishes it pretty. And I made some more stitch markers. Oh, the glare's bad again. Just says handmade on a little hand. So, there's that one. And I have some leftover fabric from my aprons I made last year. So I will bring out my aprons one day and show you all my different aprons that I sew in the patterns. I don't have very many at home. They're all at a store that I sell at. It's called Rustic Ranch in Airdrie. It's just on the outskirts of town when you're coming from the north. It's just on the north edge of Airdrie. Cool, very beautiful store. You have to check it out someday. But this was an apron that I made. So I made a couple of project keepers. Same size. Same everything. Usually the bottom fabric matches the lining, so that's fun. And they can be totally flipped over so that it can be like a yarn bowl too. So you can hold your yarn. Then there's pink cupcakes. Wouldn't it be fun to have yarn that matches this? Pink with all different color speckles like that. Oh, it would be so nice. So that's another one. And they also both have stitch markers that I made too. That one's a heart one. It says handmade. Or made with love. And then an aqua cupcake one. From another apron that I made last year. So yeah, I got those all done from last week that I started. My room's kind of a bit cleaned up now, so I think I am allowed to start a quilt. Oops, sorry about that. I banged that. allowed to start something new, I think. Oh, the possibilities. So, I think that's all I have to say for this week. Thank you for coming to spend some time with me. Thank you for returning friends that are still coming to see with me. I hope I showed you, without too much glare, all the goodies that I got and inspired you maybe to start something sewing related. Um, and a thank you to anybody new who stopped by. This is kind of nerve-wracking, and I always look back at this video and think I am such a dork, but thank you for giving me a chance and spending a little bit of time into my world. So I just want to say thanks and have a good day, and I hope you guys get to go do some quilty fun or knitting or crocheting or cross-stitching or whatever it is that you like to do. So I am going to go break open one of those quilt kits, I think. So maybe I'll have something new to show you next week. But anyways, have a good day, and I'll see you next week. Bye!